人間というものはな、まずはじめに感謝してしまえばいいんだ。ごちゃごちゃ考え悩む前に、あれこれ理屈をこねる前に、ただ、腹の底から、ありがたい、と感じる理屈も、順序も資格も、そんなものは一切いらん。ただ感謝する。それがな、人間の心を、本来あるべき、まっすぐに、強く、正しく育て上げるための、何よりも確かな第一歩なんだ。わしは中村天風、これまで、自ら思い病い、肺結核を克服し、実業界で奮闘し、また多くの人々の悩みや苦しみに深く向き合い、どうすれば人間が本当に強く、明るく、気高く生きられるか、その真理を探求し、伝えてきた。数えきれない人生の浮き沈みを見てきたわしが、絶対的な確信を持って、今、君に伝えたいことがある。それはな、どんな境遇にあろうとも、たとえ人生のどん底にいるように感じられる時でさえも、ありがとう、ありがたい、と、心の底から、魂から言える人間、感謝の心を決して失わない人間は、必ず、その運命が良い方向へと転換していくということだ。これは、わしが人生を通して掴んだ、揺るがぬ真実であり、宇宙の法則そのものだと断言する。天風先生、バカなことを言わないでください。こんなに苦しい時に、どうして感謝なんてできるんですか。そう叫びたくなる者もいるだろう。その気持ちは、痛いほどわかる。だがな、それは物事を見る目が曇っておる証拠だ。苦しいから感謝できないのではない。感謝するからこそ、その苦しみの意味が、その瞬間から根底的に変わってくるのだ。闇が光に転じるのだ。いいか、人間というものはな、ただ楽なだけ、順風満帆なだけの時には、なかなか魂の深い部分には触れられん。本当の試練、厳しい苦しみ、絶望の淵に立たされた時、それでもなお何くそ、と歯を食いしばり、一筋の光を求めてもがく時、その時初めて、人間が本来持っている、無限の力、内なる神性、いわば本然の力が、むくむくと目を覚ますのだ。そしてな、その暗闇の中に差し込む、希望の一筋の光とは、まさに、この曇りなき感謝の心の中にこそ、燦然と宿るものなのだ。だから、わしはこれもまた断言しよう。今の君が、どんなに辛い状況にあったとしても、いつか必ず、君はその苦しみにさえありがとうと、心の底から言える日が来る。言えるようになる。なぜなら、その苦しみ、その悲しみ、その痛みこそが、君というダイヤモンドの原石を磨き上げ、君をより強く、より深く、より輝かしい存在へと成長させてくれた、かけがえのない恩寵だったと、魂で理解する時が来るからだ。その時、君は本当の意味で目が開かれるのだ。世間の多くの人々はな、何か良いことが起きたら感謝しよう。願いが叶ったらお礼を言おう。そう思っておる。まあ、普通はそう考えるわな。だがな、それでは本当の感謝とは言えんのだ。それは条件付きの反応。まるで商売人のような取引に過ぎん。それでは、自分の心の状態、自分の幸福感を、外部の出来事や状況という、常に移ろいゆく不確かなものに、完全に委ねてしまっていることになる。それでは、いつまで経っても心の重にはなれん。それではいかんのだ。わしが言っておるのは、そういう受け身の姿勢ではない。もっと積極的で、能動的な、いわば攻めの感謝だ。それは、まず、はじめに、感謝してしまえ。ということだ。良いことがあろうがなかろうが、そんなことは関係ない。天気が良かろうが悪かろうが、金があろうがなかろうが、人が褒めてくれようがくれまいが、そんな外部の条件に、君の感謝の心を左右されてはならんのだ。理由を探すな。条件を待つな。ただ、今、この瞬間に、感謝するのだ。朝、目が覚めたら、まず布団の中でありがたい。今日も目が覚めた。新しい一日が始まる。大きく息を吸い込んで、ああ、空気が吸える。命がある。ありがたい。雨風をしのげる家があるなら、 この壁に、屋根に、ありがたい。今日食べるものが、たとえ質素であっても、あるのなら、この恵みに、ありがたい。そばに家族がいるなら、たとえ口うるさくても、その存在そのものに、いてくれて、ありがたい。何かを学べる本があるなら、テレビがあるなら、話を聞ける人がいるなら、その機会に、学ばせてくれて、ありがたい。どうだ。こうして数え上げてみれば、感謝すべきことは、実は、君の周りに無限に、満ち溢れているじゃないか。私たちは、特別な何かを追い求めなくても、ただ生きているという、この奇跡的な事実そのものが、最大の感謝の対象なのだ。それに気づけるか、気づけないか、その心の持ち方の差が、人生を大きく分けていくのだ。感謝というのはな、決して外部からもたらされる、か弱い感情なんかではない。それは、どんな逆境の中にあっても、君自身の自由意志で、完全と選び取ることができる、積極的で、創造的で、そして何よりも力強い心の態度、なのだ。鎧であり、武器であり、そして羅針盤でもある。そしてな、このまず感謝するという、積極的な心の態度を選ぶことで、面白いことが起こり始める。まず、君自身の心の波、いわば心の中のエネルギー状態が、穏やかに、力強く、調和の取れた状態へと整ってくる。イライラやくよくよ、不安や恐れといった、心を消耗させるネガティブな波が静まっていくのだ。そして、心が整えば、自然と人生の大きな流れ、いわば運命の波にも、うまく乗っていけるようになるのだ。サーフィンと同じだ。波を恐れていては乗れん。波と一体となり、流れを信頼して、感謝の心で身を任せる。そうすれば、思いもよらない素晴らしい景色が見えてくる。いいか。これは非常に重要なことだから、もう一度言うぞ。この世の現実というものはな、実は、君たちの心の状態がまず先にあって、それが鏡のように映し出されて、後から形となって現れてくるのだ。心が先、物質が後。これが、わしが掴んだ宇宙の根本原理だ。だからこそ、君の心が不平不満、疑い、恐れで曇っていれば、目の前に現れる現実もまた、問題だらけの、どんよりと曇ったものに見えてしまう。逆に、君の心が感謝、信頼、勇気、喜びで明るく輝いていれば、現実の世界もまた、それに呼応するように、チャンスと希望に満ちた、輝かしいものへと変わっていくのだ。ありがとうありがたいという言葉にはな、単なる音声エネルギーを超えた、君の心を直接浄化し、本来の明るさと強さを取り戻させる、霊的な力さえ宿っておるのだ。その感謝の言葉を、まるでマントラのように、日々繰り返し唱えることで、心の奥底に溜まった赤や錆は洗い流され、魂の鏡はピカピカに磨き上げられていく。そして、心が浄化されれば、どうなるか。自然と君の物事の捉え方が変わり、人に対する態度が変わり、日々の選択と行いが変わってくる。その変わった行いが、必ず、未来に現れる結果を変えていくのだ。良い心の状態が良い行いを生み、良い行いが良い結果を招く。実にシンプルな法則だ。だから、感謝というのは、単なる一時的な感情ではない。それは、人生そのものに対する、君の根本的な姿勢なのだ。心の姿勢、生きる姿勢だ。そして、姿勢が正されれば、見える景色が変わってくる。これは理の当然だ。例えば、雨が降ってきたとする。多くの人は、ああ、嫌だな、鬱陶しいと眉を潜める。その瞬間、心は縮こまり、雨はただの邪魔者だ。しかし、心の姿勢を変えてみる。おお、恵みの雨だ。この雨があるからこそ、大地は潤い、作物は育ち、我々は生きていける。なんとありがたいことか。と、その瞬間、同じ雨が、全く違う意味を持つ。心は広がり、雨は生命の祝福となる。このように、同じ出来事、同じ状況であっても、感謝という心の姿勢、 そのフィルターを通してみるかどうかで、君の人生体験は、色も、味も、香りも、全く別物になるのだ。君は、自分の人生を、どんな色眼鏡で眺めたいかね。わし自身の経験を、もう少し詳しく話そう。若い頃、わしは当時死病と恐れられた肺結核に侵され、複数の医者から余命いくばくもないと宣告された。体力は衰え、咳は止まらず、まさに死の淵をさまよっていた。世を呪い、運命を呪い、絶望のどん底にいた。だがな、その時、わしを救ってくれたのが、ヒマラヤの麓で出会ったヨーガの聖者、カリアッパ氏だった。死は、衰弱しきったわしを見て、静かに、しかし力強くこう言ったのだ。天風よ、その病に感謝なさい。苦しいだろう、辛いだろう。だが、その病があればこそ、お前は今、真剣に生きることの意味を、人間の本当のあり方を、血眼になって考えているのではないか。もし病がなければ、お前は若くして成功し、ただの傲慢な俗物で終わっていたかもしれんのだぞ。病は、お前の魂を目覚めさせるための、天からの厳しい、しかし、ありがたい鞭なのだと、わしは、文字通り、雷に打たれたような衝撃を受けた。そうだ、病気になったからこそ、わしはそれまでの自分の生き方を猛省し、本当の強さとは何か、本当の幸福とは何かを、必死で探求し始めたのだ。この苦しみがなければ、得られなかった深い気づき、出会えなかった人々、そしてたどり着けなかった境地がある。そう悟った瞬間、わしの心の奥底から、熱いものがこみ上げてきた。それは、病に対する憎しみではなく、紛れもない感謝の念だった。この病に、この過酷な運命に、そして、わしにこの気づきを与えてくれた死との出会いに、心からありがとう、と叫んでいた。するとどうだ、本当に信じられないようなことが起こったのだ。あれほど弱りきっていた体の中から、まるで温泉が湧き出るように、ふつふつと気力、生命エネルギーが湧き上がってくるのを感じたのだ。心が決まれば、体は必ず応える。そう確信したわしは、死の教えに従い、呼吸法や瞑想、そして何よりも積極的な心構えの実践に打ち込んだ。そして、医者たちが奇跡と呼ぶほどのスピードで、あれほど進行していた病が、みるみるうちに回復していったのだ。結核の影は消え、わしは以前にも増して強健な心身を取り戻すことができた。これは、決して医学的な奇跡などではない。わしは今でもそう確信しておる。これは、心が現実を、運命さえも変えるという、動かぬ証拠なのだ。感謝という、積極的で、肯定的で、力強い心のエネルギーが、わしの内に眠っていた自然治癒力、生命力そのものを最大限に引き出し、病という現実を覆す力を与えてくれたのだ。だからこそ、わしは何度でも、声を大にして君に伝えたい。まずはじめに、感謝してしまえばいいと、どんな状況であろうとも、それが、人間が持ち得る最も強く、最も気高く、そして最も運命を力強く切り開いていく心のあり方なのだと。人間はな、この世に生きている限り、必ず何らかの試練というものを受ける。それは人生の理だ。避けようがない。愛する者を失う悲しみ、病に倒れる苦しみ、信頼していた者に裏切られる痛み、どれだけ努力しても世間に認められない虚しさ。人生には、どうして自分ばかりが、と思うような理不尽な出来事が、必ず訪れる。だがな、そこで立ち止まってはいかん。その出来事を、ただ不幸だ運が悪かったと嘆き、被害者意識に浸っているから、君はいつまでも苦しいのだ。そうではない。その試練に対して、これもまた、自分をより強く、より賢く、より優しく成長させてくれるための、ありがたい機会なのだ。と、心の底から、腹の底から、思うことができたなら、どうだ。その瞬間に、その出来事の持つ意味は、180度、劇的に転換するのだ。失敗も、挫折も、心の傷も、 全部が君という人間を深めるための貴重な糧となる。そして感謝の念というものはな、過去のどんなに深い心の傷さえも優しく包み込み、癒し、そして未来への力へと変えてくれる偉大な治癒力を持っているのだ。わしの道場に来たある弟子が、かつて涙ながらにこう訴えてきたことがある。先生、私はこれまで真面目に生きてきました。なのに、なぜ、これほどまでに次から次へと、辛い出来事に見舞われなければならないのでしょうか。と、わしは、彼の肩に手を置き、静かに、しかし、きっぱりとこう答えた。おい、よく聞け。その次から次へとやってきた辛さがあったからこそ、お前は今の、その人間としての深みを知ることができたのではないか。人の痛みがわかる。本当の優しさを学ぶことができたのではないか。それを感謝せずして、一体、何に感謝するというのだ。浅漠なままで一生を終えるより、どれほど尊いことか。彼は、しばらくの間、わしの言葉の意味をかみしめるように、ただ黙って涙を流しておった。だが、やがて顔を上げると、何かを吹っ切ったような、すがすがしい表情で立ち上がり、深く一礼して帰っていった。その後、彼は見違えるように強く、明るく、多くの人を助ける立派な人物になったよ。苦難が彼を育てたのだ。感謝が彼を立ち直らせたのだ。今の世の中はな、どうも、何か大きな成功をしたり、人から褒められたり、物質的に恵まれたりしてからでないと、なかなか感謝しない、できない、という風潮があるように思う。だが、それは人間の本来の姿から大きくずれてしまっておる。人間という存在はな、本来、生まれたままの姿で、特別な何かを付け加えなくても、それ自体で完璧に、無限の可能性を秘めて、満ち足りている存在なのだ。何かが足りないと感じるのは、外側の価値観に惑わされた、心の錯覚に過ぎん。ああ、今日は何も面白いことがなかったなと、一日の終わりにため息をつくのではない。ああ、今日も一日、大きな嵐も災害もなかった。なんとありがたいことか。雨風をしのげる屋根の下で眠れる。ありがたい。たとえ質素でも、今日食べるものがあった。ありがたい。何事もない。この平凡な一日を無事に過ごせたこと、それ自体が、実は最大の幸福であり、感謝すべき奇跡なのだ。そう思える心、それこそが、どんな状況にも揺るがない、人間の持つべき、真の強さであり、豊かさの源泉なのだ。わしはな、今でも毎朝、目が覚めるたびに、まずこれを実践しておる。ありがたい、ありがたい、ありがたいと、声に出して、あるいは心の中で、何度も何度も繰り返すのだ。特に理由などいらん。今日も生かされている。ただそれだけで、十分に感謝に値する。そういう、感謝の心に満ち溢れた人間でありたいと、心の底から願うからだ。まあ、難しいことは考えずに、試しにやってごらん。このありがたいという言葉を、毎日、そうだな、まずは100回でもいい。声に出して、あるいは心で唱えてみなさい。最初は気持ちがこもっていなくても、全く構わん。形から入ってもいいのだ。だがな、続けているうちに、必ず、何かが変わってくるはずだ。君の心が、まず清められ、物の見方、感じ方が、自然と肯定的で、明るいものへと変わってくる。するとどうなるか。本当に不思議なことだが、君の目の前に展開する現実もまた、それに呼応するように、確実に良い方向へと変わり始めていくのだ。類は友を呼ぶというだろう。感謝の心でいると、さらに感謝したくなるような出来事が、まるで引き寄せられるように、次から次へと起こり始めるようになる。これがな、この宇宙を貫く、目には見えない法則、宇宙の断りなのだ。良い思いが良い現実を作り出すのだ。だから、今日も生きておる、息をしておる、その、当たり前のようでいて、実はとてつもなく尊い事実を、まず心の底から祝福しろ。そして、感謝してしまえ。思い返してみれば、 このわしらの国、日本だって、かつては敗戦という、想像を絶する苦難、まさに焼け、野原、絶望のどん底から、奇跡的な復興を遂げたではないか。わしが日本各地で辻説法をして、人々の心を鼓舞して回った頃、多くの人々は打ちひしがれ、未来への希望を見失っていた。だがな、その中でも、ほんのわずかな光、今あるものへの感謝を見出し、何くそ、と立ち上がった人々だけが、力強く未来を切り開いていったのだ。もちろん、こんな苦しい時に、感謝などできるか、と叫ぶ者もいた。だがな、そう叫び、不平不満を言うこと自体が、自らの心の可能性を閉ざし、幸運の女神から見放される原因を作っているのだと、なぜ気づかんのだ。いいか、何度でも言うぞ。君の心は、どんな権力者にも、どんな運命にも、決して奪うことのできない、君だけの絶対的な聖域なのだ。心だけは、いつだって、どんな状況にあっても、君自身の意志で、自由に選べるのだ。ならば、今こそ革命を起こせ。他人や社会に対してではない。君自身の心の中にだ。怒りや、そねみや、恐れや、不満といった、暗く重たい旗を、今すぐ引きずり下ろせ。そして、そこに燦然と輝く、感謝という名の、光り輝く旗を、高々と打ち立てるのだ。感謝だ。感謝、感謝、ただ感謝だ。この感謝という、最も積極的で、最も創造的で、最も力強い心の中に、どっかと腰を据えて立てば、人間というものは、どこまでも気高く、どこまでも強く、そして、どこまでも深く、その内に秘めたる魂を、無限に輝かせることができるのだ。わしの話は、ひとまずここまでだ。この話を聞いて、君がどう感じ、これからどう考え、どう生きるかは、すべて君自身にかかっている。だがな、最後に、これだけは言っておこう。今日、この後、たった一回だけでもいい。ほんの一瞬でもいい。誰かにでもいい。身の回りのものにでもいい。あるいは大空に向かってでもいい。ありがとうあるいはありがたいと、声に出して、あるいは心の中で、言ってみようじゃないか。その、たった一言の感謝の言葉が、君の心の奥深くにある、固く閉ざされた幸福への扉を開ける、魔法の鍵となるやもしれんのだぞ。感謝と花、単なる表面的な礼儀作法や、美しい習慣などではない。それは、君の人生そのものを根本から照らし出し、君を真の幸福、真の成功、そして真の自由へと導く、最も尊く、最も力強い生命の光そのものなのだ。だからこそ、わしは、何度でも、何度でも、断言する。まず、はじめに、感謝してしまえ。そこから、君の輝かしい、新しい人生が、本当の意味で始まるのだ。
Almost everybody associates what they want with the resistance of yearning. And so we want to clarify something. When you give up resistance, sometimes it feels like you've let go of your desire, but you haven't. You've let go of the resistance of the desire. Does that make sense to you? It's not that you've stopped caring. You don't stop caring because once it's in the vortex, the larger part of you is caring really a lot. It's that you've just associated caring with yearning. So don't say that you've stopped caring because your desire is not only still there, it has evolved. And so as your inner being is calling you from where you are to where you want to be, depending upon your level of resistance, your desire does look different. For example, let's say that you want prosperity, but you've been believing for a long time that you don't have the right occupation, or you don't have the right education, or you don't have the right placement in life, so you've got beliefs that don't allow you to move freely to this desire. So your inner being is calling you to the desire, but you can only translate it through the lens of your beliefs. So it changes continually. The more resistance you let go of, the more open-ended it all feels, and the more you begin to believe in the bigness of everything that you desire. So I'm getting closer to clarifying what I want, closer to vibrating in harmony with what I want, closer to getting what I want, closer to being in the receptive mode so that I am moving along to that sweet spot of what I want. Translating thoughts to things. Let's clarify this. So you've been putting things in the vortex, and now it's bubbled into some significant, what you want to call dreams, or what some want to call goals. There's a lot there, and it's big. You're putting more into it, more definition into it, more intricacy, more specifics into it. So it is morphing, but it's not changing so much that we even need to call it changing. It's just being shored up. It's just transmitting a stronger signal. It's just getting itself to be more ready for you to be ready for it. So the question isn't about what it's doing. Let's not talk about whether it's changing. Let's talk about your path of least resistance to it. Now, this was a new conversation that we just began having today in this strong way. It's your readiness that is changing, not your dream. Your dream is changing, but it was big a long time ago. In other words, it's time for you to begin letting it be yours. It's you that's changing. So, are you getting that? It's you that's changing. So, if you could stop being unhappy about the situation that is causing you to make the change to get to it. Oh, there it is. Instead, you want to bless this resistance, because that's what's helping you to make the change in you that's getting you all the way to these things that you really want and to all that you want to be. If you heard that, we are so happy. You are the one changing. You are becoming less resistant all the time. And you know how you're becoming less resistant? By moving through resistance. As you move through something that feels like a struggle, you make more definition about who you are and what you want. As things don't go quite the way you want them to, you more clearly define what you want. Now, here's the thing. Your definition is not changing that. That's already there. What's changing is the resistance in you. Did you hear it that time? What's changing is the resistance in you. So you really want to say, just bring it on. I'm eager to learn. I'm eager to know. I'm eager to grow. I'm eager to become. I'm eager for whatever it takes for me to line up with this. And then, of course, do all the things we've been talking about. Talk about that. Talk about that. Talk about how you think that might feel. Use all the good words and all the good visualization that you can about it. But most of all, just chill out. Step 3 is your primary work. Step 1 is ask. You can't stop doing that. Step 2 is source has already answered and the vortex has already been created and your vibrational reality already exists. Step 3 is the get happy part, the let go of the cork part, the feel as good as you can feel part in any moment that you can. Step 4 is get really good at step 3. That's all step 4 is. Step 4 is just being really good at step 3, mastering step 3, which means care so much about how you feel that when a thought comes, and they will, that don't feel so good, that you deliberately divert your attention. And then step 5 is our favorite step, really. That's where you're no longer mad at yourself when you're back in step 1. Because of what we just said, you understand the value of contrast. You understand how important the contrast is to the change in you that is necessary for the matching with what you've already created. We've never said that clearer. And yet, you're so quiet. And so, sometimes contrast comes because there was contrast before that you gave your attention to. So you let the earlier contrast sort of set your thoughts. You sort of were responding more than you meant to thoughts, and then more contrast comes like it. But in any case, every time contrast comes, there's clarification of desire. And anytime there's clarification of desire, there's a higher probability that you can hold your thoughts on what you want. There are many ways to approach life, but we're going to point out for you 2 basic approaches. And you fall into both categories. All of you fall more into the first category than the second, but these are the 2 primary categories of creation that most of you are experiencing. First one. I know what I don't want, so I know what I do want. I know what I don't want, so I know what I do want. I know what I don't want. I really don't want that. I know what I don't want. I really don't want that. Others don't want it either. A lot of us don't want that. I know what I don't want. I really know what I don't want. I don't want that, and I don't like this about it, or this about it, or this about it, or this. I want that, but I really know what I don't want. And so what happens is, I know what I don't want, which causes you to launch another rocket. But you know what you don't want, which causes you to launch another rocket. But you know what you don't want, which causes you to launch another rocket. So you've got this great expanse, this big time tug of war going on. And then finally, you know what you don't want, and you're so sick and tired of that you launch this huge rocket that gets your attention for a minute. But you can't get there easily because this is where your practice is. But that was so big that it calls you in a really strong way. But it's a really hard path because you've put so much resistance on the way. So it's really interesting, isn't it? The whole time that you're building this vortex that will call you, and in fact, a lot of the stuff that you've built your vortex out of is resistance. The very resistance that was necessary for you to build what you wanted is the resistance that holds you back from it, if you're not a good focuser. But if you're a good focuser, every time you know what you don't want and you know what you do want, you give your attention to that. So this is the distinction. You launch a rocket, you know what you don't want, you launch a rocket, you keep doing that. So there's a big extreme. It's like pulling a rubber band back. And when you let go of it, it goes really far. You say, oh boy, am I a good creator. That's one approach. That's what most of you do most of the time. Here's the other approach. Know what I don't want, know what I do want. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I like that about that. That's really good. Know what you don't want, know what you do want. Oh, how lovely is that? I can think about that and talk about that. Yeah, I can line up with that. Know what I don't want, oh yeah, how lovely is that? Yeah, I can do that. Not the drama you like. It's not the drama you like. It doesn't get the attention that you think you want. Nobody's going to write a book about you. You have to suffer really a lot before they'll write a book about you. You have to overcome terrible stuff. But you can play it any way you want. We recommend a combination of all of that, but more of this, more of staying in your lane, more of feeling the rumble strip. When you get into your car, you know where your lane is. You know that you don't want to try to occupy the same space as another car. And when your wheels are on the rumble strip, you just naturally correct your steering. You don't make a big deal about it. You don't call someone, the rumble strips are here. I'm on the rumble strips. What do you think it means? What do you think I should do? I don't know. I don't know how they got here. I'm sure I was watching what I was doing. I'm just sure I was watching what I was doing. Nope. It just came out of the blue. Nope. Rumble strips are right there. What should I do? What should I do? All four wheels are on the other side of the rumble strip. Yeah. That ever happened to you? Really? What happened? I'm in the ditch. What should I do? What should I do? What? Watch the bridge? Watch? What? Getting a new body is so time consuming. Once you go over that cliff, it's trouble. Where all you had to do is feel the rumble strip and do what you naturally do. You just correct your steering. You don't make a big thing about it. You accept it as guidance and you utilize it well. We want to point you in the direction of your vortex so that you can feel the bigness and the wholeness of it. So it helps when you accept, and many of you have, that it's logical that you've created this vortex, and so therefore isn't it logical that you've created a collective one? And isn't it therefore logical that what's happening on planet Earth and what future manifestations will be has everything to do with what's there now? So we just want to point out that there's always been a whole lot there, and that the evolution and expansion of all species, especially the human species, has been a wonderful thing, just like you all planned it being. But now this is your time. It's why so many, including us, are calling this the time of awakening, because it's the time of consciously focusing yourself in alignment with what you have vibrationally created. So the feeling of joy is more pervasive. The feeling of hands-on creating is more pervasive. There's more joy, more hands-on joy, more feelings of hands in the clay, more feeling of freedom, more sense of autonomy, more sense of right place, right time. And yeah, more manifestations that those counters will look at and use as their explanation of humanity and society and what's gone on. But they still are missing the big picture. And the big picture is the collective vortex, because that's where that world peace is that you all want. That's where that harmony, that's where that absence of disease is. That's where the everyone being able to eat. That's where the absence of hunger is. You see what we're getting at? There is so much more that humanity has been seeking. But what is humanity? Humanity is only the culmination of a whole lot of humans who are individually focused and asking for themselves personally, but it has created the vibrational existence of that which you want to call source. So it has created the vibrational existence of the potential for human allowance. But there will always be a gap between what you've created and what you have allowed. If you as an individual can allow yourself to say and mean, nobody else has to figure this out, I've got it. And if you can not feel the need to convince them all, or even to convince a lot of them, if you can just know it and live it and let it be demonstrated to you, then through the clarity of your joyous example, others will catch on too. Ooh, we felt the gasp in the room. Don't you like knowing that all that you seek already is, and that source stands focused on that, and that law of attraction is responding to that powerful beingness? Doesn't it make it certain that it will be for you, for any one of you, at any time that you allow it? And if you can just resist the need for everybody to get it before you get it, then you'll have it. See? If you can not lament those who don't get it or aren't understanding, if you can not push against those who are waiting for it to be manifested and then they're counting the beans of what's being manifested, if you can be the vibrational being that you were born being and that you were born to be, then, oh, what a sweet, 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 sweet moment after moment after moment after moment after moment you have. And all anxiety just falls by the wayside, because you know everything's always working out for you. And not just you, yous. Everything's always working out for yous. For yous. Everything's always working out for yous, for us. Everything's always working out for all of us, you see. And so, oh, isn't that nice? Don't you like knowing that? Life experience causes you to put things in the vortex. Are you good with that concept? We keep doing it. Do you get it? You know what you don't want, you know what you do want, you know what you do want, you know what you do want. So in this vibrational reality that you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch, but it's real, it's vibration, it's real, and it is expanding, it's becoming more. And the law of attraction has gathered the cooperative components, and the cooperative components have caused it to be more and more and more and more. Your whole life, you're putting contents, ingredients into the vortex. And then, in your willingness to allow non-resistant moments, then those ingredients became cooperative components, and you, in your aligned state, also a cooperative component, allowed it to download into your experience. What we want you to hear is there's more downloading coming. There's more downloading coming. So don't try to push it. Don't fake it till you make it. Don't effort it. Don't sacrifice. Don't struggle. Let your knowledge of how this works, let the same inspiration that created it be the source of the inspiration that will take it to the next and the next and the next and the next. Did you hear that? It applies to everything that you're about. Most humans have had too many conversations about too many things while they're under the influence of something other than source. So then they're just debating. How many debates do you want to have about abortion or about parenting or about immigration or about this being legal and that being legal, with people on both ends of that battle, fighting, hardly any clarity coming out of any of it? Don't you just want to give that up? Don't you want to accept that anybody that's having any of those experiences, any of those personal experiences, is launching rockets of desire, and that there is a vibrational reality of improved life experience, the source is all over? And that at the very least, the new energies coming in are going to be in vibrational alignment with the new requests that are there. And the rest of you have the choice of whether you torture yourself by being outside of the new, improved, evolved state of being that collectively as a mass consciousness on planet Earth you've put into being, or not. You get to be as joyful as you decide to be, but if you need things to change in order to make you feel joy, you're in deep doo-doo. You've got to find a way to feel the joy of what you've collectively created. You can't wait around for things to shift so that you observe it and then feel better. Does that make sense to you? There are so many people that would say, no, it's our advocacy that makes the difference. It's our pushing against it. It's mothers against drunk drivers, and it's war against poverty, and the war against drugs, and the war against cancer, and the war against AIDS, and the war against teenage pregnancy, and the war against, that's what's making the world a better place. And we say, no, that's making more war. That's making more things to have more wars about. In other words, you just can't get there from there. And friends, you've done enough with all of that, and we mean that in the nicest way we do. Your willingness to synthesize life has caused you to create a vibrational reality that you deserve to witness and live. But if you need everybody on the planet to agree with you, to witness it with you, and to live it with you, then you're going to have a long wait, because people are in various stages of allowing and acknowledging and feeling and being in touch with source energy. You have the ability to tune into that. Oh, it's such a wonderful thing when you realize that those whom you have loved and who have loved you, and those that you didn't even know, and those that you knew and didn't love, all of those who have reemerged in the non-physical are looking forward with you in this leading edge time and space, and they're feeling the newness of what you are providing through your life and request. And they are seeing it with no resistance. And that's why your Earth continues to spin in its orbit, and that's why the food continues to be upon your planet. Don't you think that's a nice thing? There are no spaceships coming. There are no pipelines from other planets. There's not any of that going on. There's a perpetuation of well-being that is spawned by the power of the energy that this universe is really all about. And you can be part of that energy and thrive, or you can pinch yourself off from it and thrive less. You can tune in deliberately, or you can tune in accidentally. But it is our promise to you that when you get hold of the power that is yours to live, and it's the power of love, it's the power of whole, it's the power of good feelings, it's the power of clarity, it's the power of self-love, it's the power of loving others, it's the power of appreciation, it's the power of good feeling emotions. It's so interesting that so many humans do not make the equation that good feeling is a good thing, and that those empty, horrible, hateful, awful feelings are not good for you. They're not good for you. What we want to say is get tuned in and follow the impulse. We don't want to say drink this and that'll tune you in, or don't drink that and it'll tune you in. Because those things, all of those different foods that are in all of those different piles, doesn't matter what pile they're in, it only matters what influence you're under when you eat the Twinkie. When you say, I get what I think about whether I want it or not, let's just start there. And then you say, but I can't control what I think about. Which is where most people are. Most people can't control what they think about. Why? Because they let momentum go, And it's against the laws of physics for them to be able to take a thought of something unwanted that has a lot of momentum and stop on a dime and think something else. So if you think that's what we're asking you to do, then you're failing at it. And if you think you're failing at it, then you're worse off than you were before you ever met us. Once you accept that you are creating your own reality and that you are always offering a vibration, and then you say, how do I know whether the vibration that I'm offering, meaning the thought that I'm having, is of value or not? And then we say, if it feels good, it's of value. If it doesn't feel good, it's not. And then you say, but what if I can't tell? And then we say, then don't change anything. Just let law of attraction make your thoughts bigger. And eventually, it will be big enough that you can feel its emotional indicator. We always say, if you've got something negative going on and you don't know it, don't worry, it'll get bigger. But that's true if you've got something positive going on, don't worry about it, it will get bigger, because the law of attraction just keeps adding to what is, with no judgment, no trying to guide you one way or another. So this is the place that we really want you to be at when you walk out of this door today. As you live this life and sift and sort through it, and know what you don't want and know what you do want, you have created a selection of things that you care about just by your awareness of what feels good to you and what doesn't. And when you reemerge into non-physical, when you have what you want to call death, we refuse to acknowledge death as anything that's real. But when you reemerge into non-physical, because you never cease to be, you are eternal beings. When you withdraw your attention from this body, and you reemerge into non-physical, and you focus then upon this time and space from that non-physical perspective where there's no resistance. You take the best of all that you've gleaned from it and add to this vibrational reality, which is the source from which new babies are born. It's the source from which ideas are flowing. And this non-physical energy is aware of you all day, every day. Everyone who has reemerged into non-physical is looking on with you about where you are. But the difference between what they see through the eyes of Source and what you see through the eyes of you is that they do not see things to worry about and resistance, because they're looking into this vibrational reality that you've already carved out. And when you figure out how to do that, which simply means when you care about how you feel enough to guide your thoughts more and more into good feeling things, then you begin to be an extension of the energy, of the powerful energy that creates worlds. And now what flows through the fingertips of your mind is evident by anyone who watches you, because masterful, wonderful, good feeling things are your experience, you see. And then you try to explain it to others, and maybe they're getting it and maybe they're not. Life experience is what teaches them. It's not words. It's life experience that teaches them. So you just teach through the clarity of your example. The thing that we want you to hear, and this piece will click into place easily for you. It's interesting. We see so many creative people, musicians mostly, musicians and artists and authors, but mostly musicians, we're just going to say, who feel their way to alignment, and then mastery flows through them. And then they want to find a business approach to getting it out to the world and so forth. And they forget everything that they knew that made the music flow, because their beliefs about business suck. In other words, when it was just them and creative juices or the creative muse, then it was easy. But now they have to integrate into a world that they see as not cooperative or in control of them. It doesn't go so well. So all you have to do is accept that the same mastery that allowed you the creation of your whatever it is the same mastery that will allow you to take it to the next and the next and the next, wherever you want to go with it. It's exactly the same. Which means your thoughts have to feel good about it. And when your thoughts don't feel good about it, think about something else. It's simpler than you think. Once you get hold of this, what's going to happen to you is you're going to have greater feelings of that euphoria and greater feelings of your own power. For sure, you'll notice it in the next few days. But you're also going to notice that when you get crossways of it, it's going to feel worse than usual too. Because you can't move to this understanding and then drift from it without feeling the contest of that. If someone called you on the telephone and said, hello, you don't know me, I'm just calling to tell you that I will never call you again, you would say, thanks for letting me know, but you wouldn't worry about it. But if somebody you really care about were to tell you that, you'd feel stronger discomfort. Meaning that when you really, 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 really want something and you get off kilter from it, you feel bad. But if you sort of want it and you're off kilter, you sort of don't feel that good. If you really want something and you're off kilter, you really feel bad. Well, what's happened here today to you, should have been on the disclaimer you signed, is that you can't go back. Once you gain this understanding of who you are, you can't not be who you really are now that you know who you really are. So there. You are different now, and there's nothing to worry about except that you are different now. Your vibration has shifted because you felt resonance with these universal laws, and you've activated within yourself a sort of temporary set point in your vibration, which means your relationship with everything absolutely has shifted, and your awareness of the evidence of that shift is really going to be important to you. If you can just let this vibrational set point linger within you, and your only assignment is to see if you can personally discover what we mean by a daydream. If you can find yourself in a pleasant thought that you're just allowing to form itself like a movie that you are watching for pleasure rather than a movie that you are creating for abundance or for recognition. This is a movie that you're just watching for pleasure. And your inner being is the director of it, because your inner being knows all of the pieces that you put there and what the main plot is, and where you stand in relationship to it, and where you'll be most interested or most likely to jump in. It's going to be natural and easy and subtle, but you will recognize it when it comes. There is great love here for you.